Hello everyone and welcome to an introduction to the Cammus C5. Now this video will be my first impressions video on the C5 itself. Now I have done a little bit of driving with the C5 for drifting, not so much of racing, but I just did a little bit of a demo lap just to see what it would feel like, and I've got to say I'm very surprised by this wheel. Now it is a 5 Newton meter force feedback direct drive wheel, which peaks out, I believe, between 6 to 7 Newton meters. It's 280 millimeters in diameter and 67 millimeters in width of the steering wheel itself. The 3 rotary buttons, which have an up and down sort of situation going on there, which is how that works. Very comprehensive. I don't have these bound to anything just yet. I haven't found the time to do that just yet. We have the 8 buttons here, which you can use as directional, whatever you want, like just accept, back type of thing. I have this to glance, and I have these 2 extra options. These 6 are extra options for me. I have start race, pits, lights. I think this toggles the bright lights, or the high beams rather. I have this set to hazards, indicate left, indicate right. Yeah, it's very comprehensive as a wheel. And the front faceplate is carbon fiber. So although it's the cheapest direct drive on the market, being $249 US right now, 5% off using code Heart of Jam, by the way. Cheeky little plug there. Although it's the cheapest direct drive on the market at the moment, I can pleasantly say it does not feel like the cheapest direct drive on the market. It's very good with force feedback. So I currently have my force feedback for racing and drifting set to 80%, 80% rather. So I'll go over that with you quickly and my settings based on that. So I'm just going to mute the car a little bit there. So this is what you'll be greeted with when you download the Cammus app. So I have the LC100 pedals, which are also sent out to me by Cammus. And yeah, so this is what this page looks like. And you can go into parameters to change all of these details, which has been updated. So there is that. And there's a bunch of details that I'm not going to get into at the moment. It's just very comprehensive. And these are my drift settings, or at least current drift settings for now. So I drift at 1080, and this is this page. And this is this page if you have this, if you've updated the version of the app. So one thing, this will be set to max. Now, when I first tried drifting with this, it was wrong. It felt different. So turning this off, the wheel feels normal and everything is good to go. Now, yeah, devices, you can see the rotary buttons doing its job. All of them work. I'm not going to press all of the buttons just because I am in game at the moment, but the LC100 pedals, you can set max and min. So I'll set, oh, forgot I was in game. So you can set maximum, minimum, minimum, maximum. I'll set that to the maximum. Yep, there we go. And then clutch. And then set minimum. And then you're good to go. So that's something that I would get into the habit of doing straight away before doing anything else. Now, back to this wheel. Although D-shaped, it doesn't affect drifting. Now, I'll show a bit of drifting at the end of this video. But with that, let's get into some F1 racing. And it will be single player on Spa because I cannot be trusted on multiplayer. I'm just bad at the game. So let's just skip right over there now. So we are now in the F1 car, ready to go. Also, you'll notice that my lights are purple. Something I forgot to mention about the software. I'll just quickly swap back over to that, sorry. is in parameters, oh no, devices, sorry. In the wheel, you can now change the light, so you'll have a different set of colors. This is the regular pastel version of that, blue to purple, and I think blue to red. Yeah, blue to red. So we have this one, this, and this, which, just to show you on the wheel, we go from that. In fact, bear with me. I'll do it like this, just so you can see it a bit better. So regular, pastel, the one that I like most, this one, and you can also turn it off, so you don't need it on at all. Now, I'm going to set it back to blue. I did have it full purple, but I'll deal with that later. And you can also change the brightness of this, which looks like this. So it's not too bad. You can also change between speed, between kilometers an hour and miles per hour, and also gearing, which I use opposed to anything else. Right, so without further ado, let's get into some racing, shall we? I'm on my drift settings, which, well done. So something about the actual settings is you can do it all in game. So you can just switch back over to the Cammus app and then you're good to go. So there's none of that sort of like lose force feedback based on that. The only time you'll ever lose force feedback while you're in game is if you turn the wheel off and turn it back on, which I made the mistake of doing while I was live last night, so that was fun. I'm not doing very good at this, but let's talk about the wheel. So force feedback is good. I also forgot to turn it up, so let me turn that back up to 80%. I knew that would be the case, but 80%, and there we go. So that's now on 80%, which is what I like to drive at. Now, as you can see, the force feedback seems to be testing me a little bit more, which it definitely is. And you can definitely feel all the bumps and everything in the road. Ooh, too far. And yeah, it is overall a very good wheel, and if you are looking into getting one, don't hesitate. They are fantastic feeling. Now, something I will note is that the boot up sequence is extremely quiet. So going from the Thrustmaster TX, where it would absolutely shake the house down, in a polite way of saying it at least, and then this being so quiet is a big step in the right direction. Oh, clip the curb there a little bit. And one thing about this as well, it's not a traditional direct drive in terms of wheelbase and a wheel attached to it. So the wheelbase is within this wheel itself, which is why it's circular at the front. And it's also mounted to my rig at the moment because the desk clamp wouldn't fit properly, which is a bit of a hassle, but it's not the end of the world. And yeah, no issues at all whatsoever. So the only thing that you may need to do is update some software just to make sure that it's running at the peak performance it should be. And you should be good to go, which I would recommend doing anyway. But just one thing I will note, if you do update your software, don't cancel out of the firmware update. It will probably brick your equipment, which I do believe Cammus are working on in terms of stability for that. So that is something. Also, PC only from what I'm aware, but they are working on making it a console compatible wheel as well. So if you are on console and you want a new direct drive, or you just want to move over to direct drive, it should be a good option when that's finally done. Now, the build quality of the wheel, again, very impressed for the budget of it. So the front plate, I don't know if I already mentioned this, but the front plate is carbon fiber. And the paddle shifters are a bit warm right now, but I think they're metal. No, the paddle shifters are plastic, but... Or maybe they're metal. I can't tell. It's been a long day. But either way, they feel very high quality, although small. They definitely don't feel small when you're driving. That was bad, but we won't talk about that. And okay, wheel pit. It's enough of that. The entire metal outside is the entire outside is metal, which is good. This, I'm assuming, is fake leather, but it feels very premium. It feels very, very nice in the hands while you're driving. Now, what I will do quickly is I will change over to my drift settings. So I'll apply those. And what we will do is switch over to some drifting so you can see that in action as well. So bear with me for one moment. So we are now in a drift car ready to go. So one thing I also want to discuss are the pedals. So the pedals are the LC100 pedals, which were, again, kindly sent out to me by Cammus. And I'll discuss these quickly now as well, seeing as they were part of the deal that I got. I also forgot to put a setup on this car, so I'll talk about that while I'm doing it. So the brake pedal is a load cell pedal, and I think it can go up to 100 kilograms. I may be slightly off on that, but I do believe that's how it goes. And you can change how strong it is. So as you can see, I have it set pretty strong. So this is the accelerator, the clutch, and the brake. So that's, you can see the force moving that wheel there. So you can lower it with the damper screw. So it goes from, I believe it's 1 to 8 or 1 to 6. I could be mistaken. But they feel fantastic. They feel extremely high quality. And I don't have any issues. Now, I have got a lot of questions about this wheel in terms of drifting. And all I can say is fantastic for drifting. I mean, I'm having no issues, and I haven't driven this track properly in a while. I should have shifted down to second there, but oh well. So you can see the rotation speed is perfectly fine. It's really controllable, and I can just... I'll show you this actually. So this is something that I couldn't do with my old wheel. I can just let go and it counter steers itself with no issue. It's extremely smooth, which is one of the very, very good perks that you do get with a direct drive wheel. Now, again, with it being a budget direct drive wheel, you'd expect it to not be high quality, not be great with force feedback, or, you know, you'd expect some issues, but I can't say I've really had any issues. Just dropped my mouse. Oh well. But as you can see, drifting completely fine. I should have extended the gearing there a little bit, but oh well. So for anyone doubting its comparability in terms of drifting, don't. It's very easy to drift. I mean, I just have skill issues, to be honest. So something that I will actually show you while we are here is we'll go to the Cammus app, and I will go into steering wheel. Oh no, parameters, sorry. And I'll turn this up. So you'll be able to see what I mean when I say that it just feels wrong. So 2 seconds. Okay, so with that on now, that was a bad example, but it just doesn't counter steer enough. Like it's very, very slow. So, for example, if I go, it's too slow. It's more noticeable in pro cars. But now if I go back here and turn that off, go back here and come back here. See, you can tell it looks different as well. That's the only one thing I'll note. So if you do update software and your wheel feels like it doesn't spin fast enough, that will be why. Okay, should have shifted, but well, I hope that gives you some sort of faith within the wheel itself. I'll just give replay there. There we go. So I do hope that that gives you some faith within the drifting capabilities of the C5, which, you know, is what I'm going to be doing the most of my, you know, content on. I just realised that was very loud. Let's hope that wasn't too loud in game. I think it was in interior cam. I think it's fine, but I do hope that this gives you some sort of understanding that you can drift on this wheel. Just because it's D-shaped doesn't change a thing. Now, what I will show you is the boot up sequence. So 3 little beeps, and that's the loudest it gets. And it's on. It's ready to go. So, you know, it's really easy to boot. It's really easy to set up. And, you know, it's basically plug and play. All you need to do is change your settings within the game, and it's absolutely a perfect little wheel. So if you're interested in moving over to the direct drive or just getting involved in sim racing and you're new to the game or new to sim racing in general, definitely consider getting a C5. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. The most budget direct drive you will ever find is the C5 currently. It's $249 US, and you can get an extra 5% off of that using code Heart of Jam. Now, with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching this video, and I would like to say, if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment with your feedback about the wheel, just feedback about this video in general, and yeah, I'd like to see what you guys think about the wheel as well. Please don't leave comments about my awful drifting. Let's call that a day, shall we? But please also consider subscribing. It helps me out in the long run, and I'm trying to grow this channel just so I can, you know, post more content and just enjoy myself. So with that being said, again, code Heart of Jam for 5% off Cammus, and a big thank you to Cammus for sending out not only the C5 but the LC100 pedals too. It's been an absolute pleasure so far, and I look forward to the next couple months to come with this wheel and working with Cammus. So thank you all for watching. I just crashed. Thank you all for watching and have a wonderful day.